Howdy ho, and howdy. We're gonna talk about the press release from Harvest Moon Winds of Anthos today. And I know I'm a little late on it, but you know, some people have stuff to do. Okay, so it says Natsume Incorporated, a worldwide developer and publisher of family-oriented video games, today shared a first look at Harvest Moon: The Winds of Anthos. Harvest Moon: The Winds of Anthos is the latest installment in the beloved Harvest Moon franchise and will be launching later this year. So we're gonna stop there for a second. I need to cover this because some people don't know that Harvest Moon is not in fact the same Harvest Moon today as it was in '96. There was a split. Natsume basically was a publisher for the developers in Japan, and they went from the game's Bokujo Monogatari to, in the western side of things, they called it Harvest Moon. Basically, they split up. I can post a little link or whatever, like share it real quick, because there's a good video for this if you want to learn some more about it. But it was very confusing for a lot of people at first, including myself, and I didn't even know that Story of Seasons was actually the Harvest Moon that I grew up with. It was just under a different title now for a long time. I mean, I didn't know that, and I saw it in the store one time. I think I was at a GameStop or something and was like, oh, this looks a lot like Harvest Moon. And I read that it was like a farming sim, and back then, you know, it wasn't like today where you have farming sim. The Nintendo Direct was basically just farming simulators, but I didn't know that's what had happened until I talked to my best friend, and then I had to go watch that YouTube video because I was looking it up, trying to figure out what happened. But so, when they say beloved franchise, it's half true, really. Because they can kind of lay claim a little bit, in my opinion, to the old games because they were there, they helped publish them, but they did not develop them. So it's very problematic the way that they still try to claim the franchise, and almost a lot of people say, like, trick people into thinking that it's the same thing. You know, they're coming out with games at the same time as Story of Seasons and stuff like that. So it seems a little shady sometimes the way that they do stuff, but honestly, if I was a part of that company, I would probably do the same thing, wouldn't you? Because you can kind of get more people to buy your product and be like, oh, it's these games that you love, remember Harvest Moon? So anyway, they kept the name. Story of Seasons is the developers of the old game. That's all you need to know. They do reveal a bit about the world they're trying to build in this game. So Anthos is home to the harvest sprites, spirits that protect people and nature, as well as the goddess of nature known as the Harvest Goddess. Classic. However, about 10 years ago, an unprecedented eruption in Anthos' volcanic region forced the Harvest Goddess and her harvest sprites to use all their powers to protect the people. The people were saved, but the eruption left the villages cut off from each other. Believing that the separated villages and people would one day be reconnected, the Harvest Goddess sent a bottle into the ocean with a letter and a magic key, then fell into a deep sleep. Also classic. This is very like a Harvest Moon story, a lore, I guess, of the world. This is very much like on par with the old Harvest Moon games, where there's always some kind of issue going on with the land or the earth and whatever around, like the area around the island or wherever that you are. So like if you play Tree of Tranquility, for instance, there's like a big tree. It's the Harvest Goddess tree. It's like where her spirit resides, I guess. Because the thing is, whenever people stop believing in the Harvest Goddess and praying to her, then this always happens. Like some kind of disasters happen, and it's always like a natural disaster because she's a goddess of nature. And if things are out of balance, then things are out of balance. You know, she can't really protect the planet and the people the way that she needs to because nobody is giving her offerings, no one's talking to her, acknowledging that she exists. So this is very much on par with the older Harvest Moon games, and I kind of like it, actually. It's always, the main quests are always pretty good to me. There's always a lot of stuff you have to do to restore the island and to basically make the Harvest Goddess alive again, pretty much. Like you almost have to give her spirit essence again by reminding people, I guess, of her. Even though it's not like, we're not like going to people's doors and like, hey, have you heard of the Harvest Goddess? But through unlocking things and doing things in the missions and stuff, like basically planting certain things, raising animals, restoring the island or the place that you're at, it will always bring her back to life. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess. So the setup for the World of Anthos is similar to One World. There are 5 unique towns with their own seasons, terrain, and villagers, which is interesting to me because that's never been a thing before. I do think I prefer, you know, you just come to one village and there's the villagers that, there's the villagers there, and that's the people that you're around the whole time, you know, in the game. And that you have one place that you're at, but it's okay. It's kind of cool that you get to explore and travel to different places. That's a new, besides One World, that's a newer mechanic for the Harvest Moon games. It's pretty cool. Explore the world of Anthos while searching for harvest wisps, wild animals, mines, and more. So that's also cool, is that the mines are split between, between the different towns, which makes sense because it's in the wild and there's different types of animals. Then there's the harvest wisps, just like in One World. Care for livestock such as cows, sheep, chickens, and more, and earn bonuses on your farm for keeping a variety of animals. Woo 5 different bachelors and 5 different bachelorettes. Marry whoever your heart desires. So that is a new feature for the Harvest Moon games, and we've been seeing it more so ever since, at least, like Stardew Valley, kind of letting people decide what gender they want to be, and if you want to be any kind of gender, and then you can just marry whoever you want. It just makes sense. And some people think that 5 and 5 is not a whole lot, but that's 10 people. That's kind of classic to what they usually do. Keep pets such as cats, dogs, parakeets, wolves, and more. That is one thing that is really cool that they're doing in these games, and they have been doing it for a while because in Animal Parade, there are wild animals that you could befriend and adopt. So you could have, like, not only cats and dogs, and there were different types to choose from, but there are also weasels and a raccoon and a tortoise and a bear. And we've even seen that in Story of Seasons as well. Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, you could adopt like a capybara and a penguin. So I'm really liking the trend for being able to just kind of like adopt wild animals that you think are cute. But I really hope that we're able to interact with them and that you're able to play with them, or maybe they can help on your farm or something like that. Doc Jr. is also back from the other game, One World, and they have a new and improved Expando farm that lets you easily move your farm around the land of Anthos. So that's kind of a weird concept. They've never had that in these games before until One World. A lot of what they did in One World they're trying to continue because I guess it was their most popular Harvest Moon game that they've sold so far. So of course they're gonna copy what works. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Moving your farm to different places. It's kind of weird, but like I said, I do prefer when you just kind of move into one place and then you stay there for the whole game. But I do like having a lot of places to explore. That's one thing I like about, I know it's a different franchise or whatever, but Story of Seasons, Doraemon, they had a pretty good like exploring area, if you will. Like you could go into the woods and the mountains, and there was a lot to do. So looking at the house, it's kind of bland, a little bit, you know, just from like how they have it set from the beginning is what it looks like. I hope that you can customize your house. Historically, you've always been able to do that, but it's okay. I mean, if you can't, whatever, it is what it is, but you know, I need a little more inspiration from my surroundings and in my house. One thing you can do in your house is you can cook multiple dishes in your kitchen at the same time, which I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means it takes time for your dishes to finish, so you have to use multiple things at the same time to get anything done. I'm not really sure. So looking closer at these screenshots, the first one that we see is Langtonbury Village. It's honestly, I'm really surprised at how good this looks. Yes, the trees and everything look the same. The buildings are kind of strange looking. They honestly kind of just look like wagons to me for some reason. Maybe it's the wheel over there. But this one's obviously supposed to be like a westernized, Western-inspired village. There are stars up here on the top left over the name, and the progress isn't very good so far. So I'm thinking that you have to somehow maybe like improve each place that you go to. Maybe there's certain, maybe when you find wisps or something, they help you to restore things, or I'm not really sure what how you're supposed to improve it and get those star ratings, but it looks like it's supposed to have up to 5 probably for each place, and I'm not really sure how that's accomplished. So, but you can see in the background there is a building that is collapsed. So maybe this is the beginning. This is obviously the beginning of your journey in this village. This is only the second day of spring, so it looks like the very beginning of the game. And I guess you have to restore each place and somehow connect all of them. The village is kind of cool. There's only so much you can really gather from this one screenshot. And there's a cow. Hi, cow. I don't know if that would be our cow or somebody else's. Probably not ours. Oh, and then I want to point out that there's a mini map down here, and you can see the location of people as well. And it looks like they get maybe a little larger when you get closer to them. Doc Jr. has an exclamation point with a bubble over their head, so it looks like you have a mission that you have to go do. And I'm sure that those things will help you improve the rating or status of the... the rating or the status of the village. This screenshot also looks like it's from the same village based on the buildings, and I'm not really sure. Maybe the blonde girl is supposed to be you. She kind of looks like the girl from One World. But anyway, Judy says, "Good luck with the turnip stew. I'm rooting for you." Get it? Rooting. Turnip. They do try to be a little funny in their dialogue, so it's kind of cool. I like the way the characters look so far. Some people complain that it looks like they just used kind of the same avatars and made the same person over and over. I can see what they mean a little bit, but some of the people look different. A lot of them look different. You've only seen so many people so far, so it's kind of hard to judge, really. I do like what I'm seeing from this screenshot. Doc Jr. and they're chasing the chicken. Hey, wait. Look at the chicken. It's so cute. Look at its little feet. It's like kind of blocky looking. I have noticed in all of these parts so far in this village that there is a cliff surrounding it. So I wonder if there's some places that are on the mountain, maybe the desert area. We haven't really seen a whole lot, and even from the screenshots that we have, we won't see anything like that. But it looks cute. They have little cutscenes, and that's good. It always makes a game more fun to me. Here's a little screenshot of the cow, the little calf. They named it Milky. And I haven't pointed this out just yet, but there is a health bar at the bottom left, and then the date and the time and everything, it's off. It's a little weird looking to me. It looks almost like it needs to be moved to the right more because it's not quite in the corner, but then the hearts are in the corner, so it just kind of looks weird. I hope they fix that before they release it. And the barn area looks cool. I wonder what that machine is supposed to do. It looks like you put something in to be processed, and it's not quite done being processed based on the lighting, but we'll see. What are your guesses? What do you think that would be? I have no idea, honestly. Also, for the animals, you can see that there are, instead of hearts, which I like the hearts personally, there are music notes over the top of them, and you can also see an emoji type, smiley face, and I'm probably to let you know how they're doing as far as their health and happiness for the day. And Milky seems happy, and they're building their relationship, and of course, in these games, that's always good to do. It's only the 23rd of spring, so I wonder if you buy a calf, like when you buy a cow, I wonder if it comes as a calf first, or if she already somehow has gotten a cow pregnant and it already had a baby. That would be really fast. So I wonder how that worked out and how you get this calf. Okay, and then in this screenshot, they actually have Leggingtonbury Village. They actually have the village at 1 star. I'm trying to figure out where we're located, but it looks almost like we at least helped with the collapsed building. Who knows? This is the garden look. There's your farm in the mini-map. So, and it shows where your barn is at, as well as other icons in the village. It looks like there's maybe a farming supply shop and a couple other places. I wonder what the exclamation points are for, but anyway, I have to look it up. But you can see the garden so far. There's a little machine that Doc Jr. gives you. I think with these newer games, they try to really integrate like a lot of robotics and futuristic kind of vibes to it as well. It's kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense for whatever they're trying to do. Especially if you're able to move your farm around, you're going to have someone who has these crazy inventions or whatever. So I like the cherry blossom look around there. I wonder if that's the building right here is your house. No, it looks like somebody else is there. I'm not really sure. I guess your house would be in the fence. And here we see Doc Jr. again. You should be able to get up to speed in no time. Doc Jr. is back with the crazy inventions, and so I'm sure that they're going to help you at the beginning of your farm and to accomplish getting some of the stars up. I don't know how quickly you travel to another place. I don't know if you have to get your first village up to a certain point with stars or not. I'm not really sure how open it is, but we'll see. In this screenshot, this is the house. It is kind of bland, and then she has a pet cat, and it's only the 15th of spring, so that's kind of fast. I wonder if you get to choose an animal from the beginning, or if you have to befriend different animals in the wild, because you would think that they'd all be kind of wild. I like that there's a few little trinkets in the background though, so it's not all a lost cause, you know, it's just kind of bland looking, but I do kind of like the setup of the house. I'm not sure, they do say that you can cook everything at once, but with this tiny little stove and kitchen area, I'm not really sure what you're supposed to be cooking at the same time, besides maybe boiling some water for tea and then making like something, I don't know, a fried egg or something. But hopefully we can change the interior and customize it, make it a little more homey than it is. I'm kind of wondering what that book is for. I wonder if it's a field guide or if there's like a book in the house whenever you move in and it's like a secret thing. I don't know. Okay, in this screenshot, he's chopping down a tree, I guess. I would assume that it actually does fall. I'm not sure if you get to replant it or how it works, but I don't know, maybe not. He might not have to chop it completely down because he's already getting lumber from it. Traditionally, you had to knock them down and then they would produce lumber. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like an eco-friendly idea. I don't know. But obviously, you get some lumber. So that's cool. You gotta forage for items and you still have to grind a little bit and get materials that you need to improve homes and buildings and your barn. Expand things probably. I'm sure you can expand, especially if Doc Jr. is there with his little gadgets. And this is the volcano that apparently erupted and caused all the issues. So that's kind of cool. It's huge. It's really tall. I do like on the minimap it shows you some terrain. I wonder if you can go behind, see where the waterfall is over in this corner. I wonder if you can go back there because based on the arrow and how she's facing, it looks like you can go back a little bit and there's a little pond perhaps. I don't know, it's shaded, but you know, it looks shaded like water. And then even up ahead, it looks like there's a small body of water, but it's really hard to tell. But it does look different than this dark, boldened area over here, which would be the raised area of this land over here. So I don't know. Maybe you can explore it a little bit back there. I don't know. Some people said it didn't look like you could, but I think you can. I think you can go back there until you hit the cliffs. But either way, it's already halfway through the month. She's already got a horse. What's up? So it looks like she's going to another village, which is cool. So maybe you can actually travel pretty quickly. I don't know. But it's really exciting to me that you get to travel and explore and find mines and forage and find the wisps and stuff. Like, it's really exciting to me that there's this like open world element to the game. This screenshot is the final screenshot and we are in Providence Village, which is a different place than where we were before. And you can see that our farm has moved because of the mini map and the barn behind us. And it's cool. The sky is really pretty. I really appreciate this screenshot a lot. These are like my favorite colors in the background. And I don't know if this is supposed to be a festival or anything. It says the 19th of spring, but maybe you always get to see shooting stars. Maybe there's certain nights where they're like, hey, there's shooting stars tonight. Look up in the sky. I wonder what the weather will be like because it did say that there are seasons specific to the regions you go to as well. So I wonder if that includes the weather. Because like there have been games like Breath of the Wild where you go to a region and there's lightning all the time and it's raining all the time. And then there's other areas obviously that are snowy, but like then there's the tropical areas that are always sunny and nice. There's rain sometimes too. But anyway, I wonder how that's going to affect the weather in this game and if there's going to be a lot of celestial events like these shooting stars. I don't know. It's really cool. And I wonder how the moon will change as well. Because it looks like a full moon in this screenshot, but who knows? Like, maybe it's always full. I don't know. I think it's quite beautiful. I'm really excited about this game, honestly. So yeah, I think the game looks great. I'm really excited to play it and to explore the world of Anthos and see what they've got going with this because there seems to be a lot of good features. I'm excited to also see who you can marry and what can happen with that. I'm sure you can have a family and they can move with you depending on where you move your farm. They're not just gonna not. That's kind of a key piece of why Harvest Moon has been so successful so far. Because you can get married and a lot of people find that appealing. Everyone has some pretty strong opinions about the Harvest Moon games and the franchise and how they're handling a lot of things, but overall, honestly tired of people kind of like talking shit about, because even if they're not the same as they used to be and it's whatever, they're saying what they're saying, I mean, they can kind of lay claim to those games in my opinion because they were a part of it. And just because they cannot sell them anymore, because if you go look on their website, they don't have it listed in their games. They just have in their namesake, hey, we've been doing this for like 30 years. And they have. And Harvest Moon is a beloved franchise, and they were a part of it, so they're not entirely wrong. They're just probably using it to sell their new games, which, wouldn't you? They're a company, guys. I mean, come on. I don't think that there's anything wrong with buying these games and supporting both franchises. So let me know your opinions. Let me know your thoughts on the new game. Try to be a little more open-minded, because I feel like everyone has just been so close-minded ever since they've been coming out with the new games. And like, obviously I know that like some of the development looks, the graphics and the way that the game runs and the way it looks has not been that appealing so far. I mean, but One World was pretty, a lot of people, it's very split. I've seen a lot of people that really liked it and really enjoyed the game, and then I've seen a lot of people who just kind of said that they didn't like it or they weren't going to buy it. A lot of them seem like they didn't even buy it and try it out, so anyway, if this game looks fun to you, just give it a try. Like, don't let people talk you out of it, because it's dumb. Let me know your thoughts. I'm always going to be the person who says what I think, so it's probably unpopular, but like, give it a shot, be open-minded, don't just be like, oh, Harvest Moon sucks, Story of Seasons is better. It might be true, but they're working hard and it looks like they're making a comeback. Like, I really like how it looks so far, and this could be their comeback game, so I'm gonna give it a shot. So, yeah, this is me signing off. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.